All right, ladies, so we're going to get started. It's 5 o'clock on the dot, and I want to honor your time and my time by starting early. Well, by starting on time, rather. So, y'all know who I am. For some of you all who do not know who I am and are new to the group, I am Kendra Woods of KendraKWoods.com, and I am a transformational coach for rising female entrepreneurs. And so, specifically, what I do is I work a lot around mindset because I believe that mindset is the foundation for all of our success. And I help women to grow and expand their businesses from a soul-centered, aligned way. So helping you get out of your head and into your heart and really stepping into your purpose and stepping into your creativity and stepping into your gifts so that you can share them with the world and create the impact you desire. So I'm so excited that you all are here with me. If you are here right now, what I would love for you to do is just drop me a comment below, say hi, let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me know how you're feeling. How are you feeling on this Thursday? So I'm doing something a little new. I typically stream into the group on my phone, but I'm trying the Zoom platform and streaming live from Zoom. So I'm excited to see how this works out today. So as you know, we are here to talk about the 5 areas of focus that are important to you and your business right now. Hey, Priscilla, how are you? All right, I've got my phone here so I can see you all when you jump on and I can engage with you in the comments. So here's what I wanted to, so we're going to talk about the 5 areas of focus for your business right now. And the reason why I wanted to do this live stream today is because we all know what's happening in the world. We all know about, COVID-19 and what's happening. And right now, the online space is really, really noisy with so much activity. Some of it is really good and motivating and inspiring activity. Some of it is just, it's fear-based, it's negative. There's, all types of theories and stuff running around the internet. And there are a lot of business people online right now sharing with you all these different things that you need to do in your business, right? And so my belief is that even though things are the way that they are right now in the world, that business still gets to be simple and focused, right? And I think if there's one thing that I really hope for you to take away from today's live stream is the principle of simplicity and focus. And so what I hope to provide you tonight are 5 areas that you can focus on to really, that can propel you forward, but also weave in that simplicity so that it takes away some of the overwhelm and some of the frustration of all the things that are happening right now and all of the noise that is going on in the world, right? So let's jump in. Have your pen ready, have your journal ready, take some notes. If you're watching this live, just sit back and listen. You can come back and watch the replay and take notes. But if you're watching the replay, you get to pause it as you move through and take notes on what I'm saying, okay? So you may see me kind of look off to my left over here because I have notes that I want to refer to make sure that I get you everything that, that you need today. All right, so number 1, here's the number 1 thing I want to share with you around where you need to put your focus in your business. And the first area that I want to share with you is you. You are the first place that you need to be focusing on when it comes to your business. Now, that probably was not what you were expecting me to say because, most of the time it's about, hey, Linnell, say hi. Most of the time it's about the business, right? But here's what I believe. You are your business. And if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are not doing the things that are going to nurture and support you, then that's going to show up in your business. So how are you caring for yourself right now? Is what I want you to think about. How are you caring for yourself right now? Because in order to be a leader in your industry, in your career, or in your business, you must be willing to lead yourself first. You got to lead yourself first. And it's interesting because I was thinking back over when all of this stuff started happening in the world. And for like the first couple of weeks, I was just not myself, right? Like I was listening to everything. I was feeling emotional about things. I was focused on things about what was happening that I shouldn't have been focused on. And so because of that, I really couldn't get into my groove of really feeling inspired in my business. And so I had to step back and say, wait a minute, Kendra, you've got to lead yourself right now in this moment and take care of you so that you can be of best service to your clients, to your business, and to your purpose. And so I ask you, what are you focused on right now? Right? Where are you directing your energy? And so I'm sharing this first pillar, if you will, with you tonight, because number one, I want you to recognize how powerful you are. You have the ability to direct your energy and your focus. And so if you find yourself feeling, feeling down or feeling heavy or feeling emotional or feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, whatever feelings come up, that's absolutely fine and that's perfect and that's normal. But I want you to take inventory of that. And when you start feeling like that, I want you to step back for a moment and say, okay, wait a minute, what am I focusing on right now? Am I focusing on the fear of what's happening right now in the world? Am I focusing on the fear of what's happening in my business right now? And if that's the case, then that's going to be why you're feeling that way. So then you get to step back and say, all right, I'm going to choose to focus on something else that makes me feel good, that is positive, that is more in alignment with abundance, that's more in alignment with where I want to go. So your morning and evening routines right now are going to be so, so important. So important. And so let me know in the comments right now if you have a morning and evening routine. Just type yes in the comments or just send some heart emojis if you do have a morning and evening routine. So when I right before I started my business, I created for myself what I call my morning manifestation routine. And it was to really help me get centered and focus on myself and connected to source and getting my mind right before I left my house to go engage with the world or with my job, right? And so that routine that I started several years ago is now something that I look at and I go, oh, wait a minute, I've been doing this for years. And so now it's time for me to really be even more intentional with this routine, because routine right now is going to help you keep your sanity. Right? It's going to help you keep your sanity. And that is what is important. So Priscilla says yes, that she has one. That's amazing. That will help you keep your sanity as you move through this and help you stay grounded within yourself so that you can hear yourself and so that you can tap into your guidance and know what is the best direction for you to take. So the reason why you right now, I'm talking about you and why that is so important is because you're the vessel through which your business flows. So if you aren't doing well, if you aren't feeling well, then that energy is what flows into our business. And I'm not saying that you're going to always be perfect, because none of us are. We're human. We're going to have our emotions and our feelings. But what's important is that we recognize those moments and we consciously choose to shift and pivot those thoughts and those emotions. And so this is where having some tools in your toolbox is going to be so helpful for you, right? Like journaling or meditating, prayer, visualizing, going outside for a walk, doing whatever you can do to help shift it. So Linnell says, I was focused on what is happening in this world and safety for my family, which caused a lot of fears. Right, exactly. And so what I'll share with you before we move on to point number 2 here is that give yourself a boundary, right? Because yes, it's important for you to be informed about what's happening in the world, and it's important for you to know what's going on so that you can most protect, your family and yourself. But give yourself a window to get online, to get the information you need, and then get off. Right? Don't fall into the rabbit hole of reading everything that's going on in everyone's comments and what's happening here and what's happening there, because that just pulls you down even further. So set that boundary time limit for yourself, and then go on, get what you need, and get off, right? Okay, so point number 2, as it pertains to your business. Point number 2 is kind of threefold. It's kind of 3 points. But point number 2 is marketing, mindset, and mastery. And I'm going to break this down for you and tell you what I mean. So from a standpoint of marketing, I want you to think about your business for a moment. Everyone's business is different. Some of you have a brick and mortar business. Some of you have an online business. Some of you have a hybrid of both. Some of you are just in the idea phase right now of business. If you haven't launched your business yet, that's totally fine, but this is still something you need to listen to. But wherever you are in business, I want you to think about your business for a moment as it pertains to marketing, because right now is the time for you to be visible, right? For you to be visible. And here's what I mean by this. Right now, everyone's at home. They're in their house. Some people are still working, right? Some of you are still going, to your jobs, but for the most part, it's really a simple day, right? Going to work, coming home, going to the store, coming home. A lot of people are spending more time in their homes, and they're on the internet. So this is a perfect time for you to be on the internet and show up and speak to what it is that you do in your business, right? To speak to how you're moving through things in your business, to speak to how you can help, to speak to what you're knowledgeable about, right? I'm not saying that you have to be online like trying to sell all over the place, but what I'm saying is put your face out there and let people see you, let people hear your voice, let people know where you stand. So for instance, when this all first started, my main goal, even though I was going through my own emotional ups and downs, I wanted my space, my Facebook page and my group and all that stuff. I wanted it to be a place of inspiration and motivation. And so the only thing I focused on was just sharing things that I thought could bring hope to people, sharing quotes that I thought would help people feel good, right? So even if it's just that, right? Do that, be visible, show up. And something that I like to say is, be the lighthouse, because people right now are listening more than ever. And so it's a great time to really put yourself out there and let people know what you're about. Let people know, what your heart is, where your heart is at, and how you are heart-centered in your business, what's happening in your business. How are you doing things different in your business? Show up. Right? Just be visible. And that could look like doing Facebook Lives like this. It could look like putting out inspirational posts on your page, like I mentioned earlier. If you have an email list, it could be emailing your list to say, hey, how are you doing? What's happening in your world? Here's what's happening in my world, right? It's putting yourself out there and being visible. The next piece of this marketing is, when you're in business, you also, know that you have a particular customer that you serve. So this is a perfect time to redefine who your ideal client is. And for those of you who have not launched your business yet, take note of this. Redefine who your ideal client is. This is a great time to spend some time thinking about how you can help them right now. Right? And what solutions that you can offer them right now as we're moving through this time that we're all moving through. How can you help them? Redefine who they are, right? Get even more clear about what their challenges are, about what their deepest fears are right now, so that you can help come in and soothe some of those fears, right? Does that make sense? Let me know if you're still with me, okay? Send me an emoji in the comments or send some hearts or likes. Let me know that you're here with me and taking this in. So yeah, so redefine who your ideal client is. Get more clear on who that is. Even if you've been in business for years, go back and start thinking about who this person is. Because when you do that, it's going to spark ideas. It's going to spark ways in which you can be visible and show up and provide some solutions. Even if you had a business that is a brick and mortar business, you can still show up online and provide value around something that whatever your industry or expertise is, right? What could that be? So as you start thinking about your ideal client and what they may be thinking and feeling right now, you can then be thinking about ways in which you can show up that could help support them during this time, okay? And then the last piece around being visible is create true connections with people online right now. Right? So now that we're doing this whole, I like to call it physical distancing and not social distancing. As we're doing this physical distancing, you're not in spaces with people as much as you were before. So use this time to really connect with people who are in your audience online. Send them a message purely just to say, hey, how are you doing? Or hey, you're a friend of my page and we have never like connected or communicated. How are you doing? What's going on right now? What's happening in your world? Here's what's happening in my world, right? This is the time for true relationship building. Build relationships. And you do that by having conversations. You do that by reaching out to people and saying, hey, what's going on? Right? So a new practice that I am going to be starting this week actually is I get like friend requests all the time on my Facebook page. And so typically I look at the person's page because I do filter who I am friends with on my page, because I want the right kind of energy in my space. And so I'll go look at their page or whatnot. But now what I'm going to do is to start reaching out to them and just saying, hey, it's so great to connect. How are you? You know, tell me more about you. And just start a conversation, right? This is amazing for your business. And you may be thinking, well, how is this really going to help me in my business? You're building relationships. And relationships in business are super, super important. Because when people do decide that they want to invest in your business or invest in your services or whatever it is that you do, they're not going to do it unless they've become familiar with you in a way. They're not going to do it unless they have some trust in you. They're not going to do it unless they know what you're about. And so build connections and relationships right now. But let me be clear. Build them for the sake of building relationships, not because you're trying to get something out of somebody. Be genuine and truly, focus on building that relationship. And down the road, allow the relationship to organically move into a customer-client relationship, right? There's no need to be out there trying to pounce on people to get business. Just build a relationship, right? So create true connections online. The second piece to number 2, so 2A, is mindset. Mindset. This is a beautiful time right now to work on your mindset, to work on your mindset around selling, to work on your mindset around money. And why do I bring those two up? Because selling and money are two topics that a lot of women have some anxiety around, have some uneasiness around, right? But that is the crux of your business, right? Is money and selling. Selling, they go together. And so how can you work on your mindset around this? So I've spoken to women over the past couple of weeks who are completely afraid to even put anything out there for sale because they don't want to think, because they have good hearts, number one, and they don't want people to think that they're trying to manipulate them out of their money or take something from them. And so that's a mindset, right? That's a belief. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to work on that belief and that mindset by choosing to step into the belief that you want to believe, and to shift into the energy of service, right? To shift into the energy of service. So selling and money, it's not about taking from somebody, it's about being of service, right? How can you be of service, right? How can you reframe what you think about selling? right? So in the comments right now, let me know, what are some limiting beliefs you have around selling? Some people believe that it's icky, or they think about the car salesman who tries to be pushy and manipulative. Some people think of selling as trying to take something from somebody. Some people think of selling as, just too abrasive, right? What are your limiting beliefs around sales? What are your limiting beliefs around money? So from a money perspective, it's shifting your mindset from a space of lack and scarcity to a mindset of abundance thinking, and recognizing that there's money all around us. There is money circulating all around us all the time. But when we're closed off in thinking that there's not enough, or that it's scarce, then we literally put up these blinders and we can't see anything else that's around us. Right? So begin to shift your thinking to abundance. And the way that you do that is you begin to look at the things in your life that are plentiful for you, right? Gratitude, right? Looking at the money that you do have now. I don't care how much or how little it is, looking at it and being grateful for it, right? And honoring it, and being appreciative of what it's able to do for you. And so what you get to do is look at your core beliefs. No, create core beliefs that you want to operate from, and in terms of selling and money, and begin to act from those spaces, right? So one of the things that I do, I'll share with you from a money perspective, is number one, I look at my money every day. Number two, from a business perspective, I track my money every single day. Even if I have no sales for a day, I still track it. Right? And then when I do have money that comes in, I have a spreadsheet that I keep, and I put thank you. I express gratitude towards it, right? Because that money that's coming in is helping to support my business and my mission and my purpose and my family, right? And I'm grateful for whomever it came from, because I now get to show up and help them in a way that I know is my gifting. So it's shifting your mind around. Okay. So, hey, Elena, how are you? So Priscilla says, my belief on selling is that I feel inadequate with it and usually underbid for the service I provide. Yes. Yes. And so I get that. And so with that, underneath that is this level of unworthiness, right? That your services aren't worthy enough for you to ask for what you are worth, right? And so the way that you get to work around that is you get to then create a belief for yourself that says, you know what? I am valuable and I am worthy. And I'm going to share with you, I have an affirmation on my whiteboard here that says, that reminds me, like I get to remind myself too that like I'm worthy, and I get to ask for appropriate fees that are that I'm worthy of. And so this affirmation says, I have nothing to prove. I am enough. And so I invite you to adopt that, like take that belief, right? I have nothing to prove. I am enough. And then another one I have says, oh, where is it at? It is, my work gets to be supported, right? My work gets to be supported. So those are two affirmations or beliefs you can begin integrating into your mind. And the next time that you find yourself sending out a proposal or writing a bid or sharing your prices on your services, you remember these affirmations and you ask for what you know you're worth. Because that's the only way you're going to get into the energy of what it feels like to step into your worthiness. And it may feel scary at first, right? But that's just, your body freaking out because you've never stepped out in that way before. So recognize it, but still take the step. All right. So moving on. So then part C, number 2, we're still on number 2, part C. The last piece is mastery. Mastery. right? And so what this looks like is commitment, consistency, and creativity. Number one speaks for itself. How committed are you? Are you committed right now? Right? So ask yourself that question. Am I committed right now? Number two is consistency. Right? So whatever your business tasks or actions are you consistent with them? Because here's one thing that I know and I believe is that small actions taken over a period of time creates results, right? And in order to take those small actions over a period of time, you've got to be committed and consistent. So think about some, the small actions that you can take and then be consistent with those. Right. So one of the actions that I'm taking in my business now is I'm amping up my level of visibility. So whereas before I used to come on and do a Facebook Live on Tuesday and Thursday, and I would just show up at a random time whenever, I'm now holding myself to a new standard to say, no, I'm going to show up at this time. I'm going to announce it ahead of time so people know. I'm going to send it out to my email list, right? And on my business page, I've decided to boost my post, right? Put a little bit of money behind it so more people see it, right? So it's like taking that one action and amplifying it, but being consistent with it, right? And it doesn't take a lot. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? How are you doing today? All right, so that's commitment and consistency. And then creativity is the last piece for 2C. Look at the big picture of your business. So right now is a perfect time for you to stand back and take like a 5 to 10,000 view of your business, right? What does it look like? How is it set up? What structures do you have in place? What processes do you have in place? And begin to retool those. Is there anything that needs to change? Is there anything you want to shift? Is there something different you want to do? So this is a perfect time to step back and really look at the workings of your business and look at what you can shift, change, amplify, reorganize, retool. All right. And then from a creativity standpoint, also look at what are some of the growth activities that you can master. So maybe it's sales, right? Sales is a big one. So how can you master that? Maybe it's building connection. How can you look at being creative and building that connection? And then the third piece of creativity is what is something that you're knowledgeable about that you can share with your audience? What is something you are knowledgeable about that you can share with your audience? I need to think about that. Whatever business you're in, think about what you know already. What do you already know? And then how can you share that with your audience? So whether you're a life coach, a business coach, whether you're in the healthcare industry or you're a photographer or you're in real estate, right? Whatever industry you're in, think about what you already know. Write that down and then take that and share that with your audience. You can share it in a paid workshop. You can share it in a free workshop. But however, what the point is to master your ability to show up and share your knowledge. Okay. All right. And then, there's one more point I need to give you here for mastery. Mastery also requires you to plan, right? So do you have a plan? Do you have something that do you sit down and plan your week out? Let me know in the comments. Yes or no? Do you plan your week out? Right? Do you plan the activities that you're going to do in your business, the consistent ones that you want to do over time? Okay, so moving along to number 3. Number 3 is learning a new skill or refining a current skill that you have. What is a skill that you've been wanting to learn that could take your business to the next level? Right? Or what is a current skill that you have that you want to get better at? So learn a new skill. If you're not that great at the online, world? What is something that you could do that could help amplify that you could learn a new skill in, right? If you're like me, you love to read books. I love to read books. And so maybe there's something in a book that you've read that has sparked your interest that could be a complement to your business that you can learn. So for example, I have fallen in love with the methodology and system called human design, right? Which is around helping you understand your unique energetic blueprint, right? And it shares with you how to really operate from your unique energy blueprint, right? Because we're all created different. We're all not created to show up in the same way. And so that's something that I'm like, all right, I want to learn this new skill because it will complement my business. So what is it that you can learn that could complement your business so that, and you're doing this while the world is kind of having this downtime, so that when we move through this season, you have a new arm in your business, a new service, a new skill that you can now offer your customers and clients, right? So what could that be? All right, number four, the fourth area of focus for your business right now is implementation. This is the time to implement. And I'm not saying go crazy with it and try to burn yourself out and do all the things, but what can you implement right now? What have you been putting off doing in your business that you would really love to get done, right? What is that? So I just started a new project myself a few weeks ago, something I've been wanting to do for like at least the past 2 years now. And I've just been putting it off and putting it off because it seemed so big and I didn't think I had the time to do it, right? We all go there. So what is your one thing, right? What can you begin to implement right now? What's on that to-do list that's been sitting on that to-do list for a minute? And so to make this even more fun, as an act of accountability, I want you to tell me in the comments, what is the one thing that you've been putting off doing in your business that you now would like to implement with this because you have maybe a little bit more time? What is that one thing? Share with me in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, share with me in the comments what that thing is, okay? All right, and then number 5, the 5th area of focus for your business is soul strategy. Soul strategy. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is taking some time to tap into your being, your soul, your heart, and getting really clear on what matters to you in your business. Revisit your values. Revisit your vision and mission for your business. Get really clear on what your goals are. Okay? And then begin to think about, okay, what can I do that will move these goals forward? Because once you have clarity around your goals and and what you want to create, and you think about what are some steps I can take to move forward, that is your strategy. Strategy does not have to be complicated or, complex. It can be just that simple. Here are my goals. These are the steps I can take. Boom, there's your strategy, right? And it's coming from in here. So I want you to tune into yourself, not what, someone else thinks you should do, but what do you feel like you want to do? And it may be a combination of different things that you've heard, right? Like that's how I am growing my business is I've worked with several different coaches, and some of the things that they teach, I'm like, nah, but that doesn't feel good for me. But other things, I'm like, yes, I'm going to try that in my business, right? So get clear on what that is for you. And then think about, from this space of soul strategy, think about how you can retool your business. And so if you're, for instance, a business who's not an online business, right? You're a brick and mortar type of business, start thinking about how you can have more of an online presence for your business, right? What can you do? Can you do webinars? Can you do online workshops? Can you do like virtual like meetups? Can you do some type of like a Facebook Live? I said this earlier, but look at ways that you can retool your business. And then think about what are the things that you have always done in your business? What have you always done? And it's just become natural and you just do it, right? I want you to revisit those and heartstorm, not brainstorm, but heartstorm some ways that you can do them differently. So if you have processes in place, look at those processes and say, how can I do this process different in a way that feels more effective to me, in a way that feels more in alignment with my truth? And the last piece that I'll share with you around soul strategy is asking yourself the question, how can I make my business as attractive as I can? And what I mean by attractive is attractive to your clients, to your ideal customers. And so, like for me, for instance, what that looks like is just me really just speaking from my heart, right? And being as simple and down to earth and of service as I can, and coming from an energy of service, right? And so maybe for you, that looks like connecting with some of your past customers and building that connection, right? And saying, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Right? So look for ways that you can really amplify the attractiveness of your business. What are some new ways that you can love on your current clients and customers, or your past clients or customers, right? What can you share with your audience that lets them understand your values, right? So just making your business more attractive. And everything that I've shared with you today, if you just implement at least one or two of them, that creates attractiveness in your business, right? It attracts people to you. You're not out there trying to go get people, right? You're just sitting back, doing your thing, right? In good energy, in the energy of love and service and wanting to help people. And that is what people need right now, right? There's so much going on in the world right now that people want that light. So be that light, okay? So those are all the 5 that I've shared with you today. And so what I ask you to do is, if you took notes, don't try to do all of this at one time, right? Don't overwhelm yourself with thinking you have to implement all of this right now. Choose an area and focus on it and do that for the next 30 days, right? And then maybe choose something else, or do it for a week, or do it for 2 weeks, and then choose something else. These are just 5 areas that when you choose to focus on them, will take your business to the next level. It will help it, and it will help you to infuse that energy of service and to help it thrive and move through this time. But it all comes down to you, right? So pick one and make a commitment to fully implement it. All right. And let me know in the comments what you choose. Let me know which one you want to choose. So number 1 was you. Number 2 was marketing, mindset, and mastery. Number 3 was learning a new skill. Number 4 was implementing, right? Looking at what projects you might have been that you've put off that you can get into. Number 5 is soul strategy. So which one of those areas would feel good for you to step into to nurture your business right now? Let me know, okay? All right, my loves. Thank you so much for being here. This has been wonderful. And I look forward to reading all your comments and questions and everything. If you have questions, post them in the comments. I will come back and read them. And I will see you again next Thursday at the same time. All right. Love you guys. Bye.